Good morning. I have been getting a ton of questions on planning. Using a planner can be a great thing, can feel really great when you get your new planner, but being a productive Muslimah, when you have school, marriage, kids, crazy career stuff, it's hard. So I'm gonna whip out my planner today. I'm gonna show you the one that I'm using actually, and I'm gonna be literally opening it up and showing you step by step of how I plan successfully and getting goals done and all that good stuff, step by step. All right, let's go. Alright, so I just want to show you kind of what I do. If you are unfamiliar with GoodNotes, GoodNotes lets you upload any of these. I'm sure there's tons of tutorials on GoodNotes themselves, but like in here, I have some of my own notebooks, but then I also have some other ones I write in sometimes. Like this is my journal, and in here I'm constantly doing journaling, and so this is this journal here. And then also, if you want to go back, this is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to work on productivity and planning. If you click on these four dotty things up here, it lets you actually see every single page in the planner, because this is the actual first page. So what I'm going to be doing today, there's a good 500 plus pages in this planner because there's a lot of tutorials and things. So if you go here to the yearly planning, I'm going to be doing some yearly planning today. What I like to do first of all is I look at the kind of year at a glance. So what you could do here is you could enlarge this so you could see just this particular part. Like I like to look at just January, and I might be thinking to myself, I have certain dates that I know are coming up. Now there's two ways I like to do it. I can either actually just circle the day, or another cool thing I like to do sometimes is I will actually, then I'll erase it if I don't like that. I will just highlight like this. Oh yeah, that day is important. Right, and you could do is you can actually highlight it any kind of color you want. I think there's colors over here. Like let's say I choose this color. Oh yeah, that's an important day. That's an important day. So that when I go back like this, I could look at my calendar at a glance and I could see those days. So what I'm going to be doing is going through that here. But the next thing I do is if there's certain dates like here that I think are, there's actually two ways. I can either just do that and call it a day and kind of like know that that's an important day and go later on my, month and check it out. But what I like to do here is then after I do that, if that was the 10th of the month, I might be like, oops, forgot to take this off. Right. It's that easy. And it might be like, oh yeah, the 10th, that's the family vacation day. And like what I love about this is they can make it bigger or smaller, however you want. You could change like pen and everything like that to what type of, like, do I want it to be like thinner or thicker? Do I want it to be a ballpoint pen? Maybe I'll try that and see how that is. Ooh. Yeah. And then so just want to see how it is. Go by the sea. So that's a little bit thicker. So here, notice this one was thinner. So I could do that. Anyway, play around with those. But then, so if you notice, I might put in, like, when's the last 10 days of Ramadan? I'll go look in the schedule and I'll see, and I'll put this in here. When's the first day of Ramadan? So in here, it is supposedly maybe this year, March 10th, give or take the moon. So I might put that in there like that. Or I could just put it over here. I could do it over here. I can just go in the date section. I can just go March 10th, whichever one you like, pop that back. And after I figured out these important dates, it's kind of like what I like about this planner is there's different ways to do it. You could just simply highlight. If you're a simple person, you just want to remember these days, oh yeah, these are important things, then I can do that. If you want to like go nitty gritty and just put all the important dates in one shot, you could do that. Or sometimes if you just want to do like an overview that's more written like this, so there's options, I guess you could say. Maybe you like to do it like this. Oh, all of January, here what's going on. Oh, here is, this is like the new year, if I want to put that in there. Because in the US, like that's what people are recognizing. So it might be a day off for work or whatever you want like that, right? And there's a particular day, like I'm supposed to meet up with family. So this is the family brunch day. We have that at 3:00. So I'll put that in like that, you know what I mean? And put these in. And here they are for all the different months. So you could do like that. So I'll probably sit here at the beginning of the year and just put like the most important dates. Like if I already know I have a wedding. But what I love is that it's so cute and thin. Like I did a great job and I was super neat, but I just basically made it so big that I could just write on it, right? And then I'm going to go through all the different months and fill them in. So when I think of yearly planning, the first thing is always just like kind of like brain dumping important things that are just on my mind about like what's going to happen in the year. Like this is when I'm going to have vacation, this and this. You could do it the calendar way, you could do it in a list form, or you could literally stick it here. And what I love is that they explain to you kind of how to do it. So then if I go over here and I'm done with all that, now it's when we think inspo time. And I love inspo time because we're thinking about what's really important in our life. And if I turn it like this, maybe you could read even better. So I can go like this. And we can talk about like, what is my word of the year? And the word of the year concept is that you choose this to guide you. I remember that I did my word of the year last year, and my word of the last year was something like, and it doesn't have to be a word, it can be like a phrase. It was like exploring, family or thinking about whatever. And so I had that. This word this year is like my word of the year, I think, is refining. I want to refine everything. I want to take a look at everything in my life and just think, how can I make it better? Now, what does refining mean for you in your personal life? What does it mean for your family life? So maybe for my personal life, it means like looking at how I'm spending my time. I'm getting used to writing in one of these pens. I'm not really used to. Maybe that's what I mean. And maybe in my personal life, I mean, like, I feel like I spent a lot of time on connecting with myself last year. And this year, I feel like I want to work on more like life balance even better. Like, 'cause I have it, but I feel like it could be better. In prioritizing, I can do that. I feel like I could be even more agile. For family, it would mean this. For this, career. Like for a career, I feel like with career, it would be like more of like working smarter, not harder. I know you hear that phrase a lot, but it's really, really true. And for me, and by the way, you can write in script. I'm just like, I could have went, but I'm like, no one's gonna read that because I'm just like still getting used to writing with these pens. And so here you are, and you're writing your word of the year and kind of like what that word means to you in every aspect of your life. So we have already thought of the year and kind of what's happening. We thought of basically, the important days. And now this is the time, and this is what I love also about the planner, because it is a lot of self-reflection. If you notice, we didn't just go like dive into my schedule. Everything is with intention, and life balance means putting your energy in the place that makes sense in this season of your life. And there's actually an entire part that goes more on like seasons of your life. And if you're not familiar with that concept, a season is like a time of your life when something's happening. So you want to put your balance of your energy in different places. Like if I'm newly married, obviously my marriage is going to take more of my time than if I'm a new mother. The baby's going to take more focus. So here my husband would take more focus or priority maybe, or something related to that. Or myself as a mother, obviously everything's got to go to the side because I'm a new mom. Or maybe if I'm in the middle of diving into university, that's going to come forward. But what tends to happen to people is you tend to focus on this mostly, and everything else kind of falls to the wayside, which is why I love this section on like assessing myself right now, like getting real with myself on where I really am. So this tells you exactly how to do it, but I'll show you here too. So assessing my current life balance, I'm thinking about how my life has been going daily. Like, where has all my time been going? Now, lately, I had to put my studies to the back burner. So I noticed that my studies were kind of, and here's where I get to use a color. See, this is where I can be creative. And if we have other colors in here. There are other, maybe I'll do pink. All right, so I can first get rid of this, obviously. And then I could be like, oh yeah, like my studies, those have not been a lot compared to before, because I paused them to focus on my family, right? And because I focused on my family, okay, my family's getting a lot of my attention, right? They're getting just like so much because I had prioritized them last year that they're now like, they're doing really great. And you know what? I realized recently, even though my family's doing like great and I'm really grateful for that, my social life isn't like so much. So like I want to definitely cover more social life because it's like it's hitting about the same as the studies. It was just feeling like meh. The career is kind of like as much as the family. I feel like maybe it's even a little bit less. I just feel like it's taken a bit more of a back seat, but it still takes a bulk of my time. And that's where I want to kind of work smarter, not harder, because I feel like there's a way to get this time down even less. If I could be fair, it's probably not even there. And Islam is obviously like the focus of my everyday, so I'm not worried about that. But you know, as Ramadan creeps away, we all kind of get less and less and less. So mine's teetering between maybe here, you know, alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is always first. But even the quality of that time, I think I can do even better. So if I look really here, a lot of my time, I mean, Islam to me is just like, you got to do that, so forget it. But a lot of my time is going here and it is going here. And I notice that I'm pretty deficient here and here. So these are just things that I'm noticing about myself, and having this visual really, really helped me to do that. But like, I knew it was kind of like bad in some areas, but I didn't realize. And this year, what's really important is I wanted to get back my studies with the Quran, because I felt like it went down. Because I mean, we only have so much time in the day, because I had like put so much time into these areas. I think there's a way to maybe balance it all out a bit better, or get them up. Maybe like there's lost opportunities, what I like to call them is missed opportunities. So I could go back here and I can say, you know, a little reflection for myself. I have noticed, sorry, see, this is how it goes. I hope you guys are enjoying this, because this is like really, really how I do it. I have noticed that I have been spending a great time with family. You know, I'll keep going. Great deal of time with family. And so here I am at the beginning of the year. It's really good. Imagine if you did this at the beginning of every year, and then you could look back, and you could see kind of like, what have I been doing with all my energy? It's kind of like really cool, right? Okay, so getting into the seasons, what I want to say is what I find women tend to do, and I used to do this in the past, and this is kind of why I had this revelation of like, oh, I need to stop doing that, is looking at your seasons and your priorities. So in life, we go through these different seasons. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that we make as women is we come up with some type of a system that we do, and then we use it for every season. And that's just wrong. I should not use the same system of prioritizing my life and schedule when I'm divorced as when I'm grieving, as when I'm a student, I'm a mother. It just doesn't make sense. There should be kind of you have one system, and then you tweak it to prioritize that particular thing, if that makes sense. So for me, what I realized is, instead of me making a new system every time, or just using one and having it coast me through all, which would be like making no sense, I have one system. I actually have an entire course, a life balance course. But in there, I realized that I could have one system and just tweak it as I go. And that's what I suggest you do, really, because it makes all the difference. So this is where you get to figure out what you need to focus on in that season by asking yourself questions. So one great question is, what season are you in right now, and how does it make you feel? So pretend I'm a new mom, and I could be like, oh, I'm a new mom, it's really great, but I feel a bit overwhelmed, I'm lacking sleep. This is where you get to vent a little bit. And just recognizing, and I'm not a new mom right now, but I'm just saying, because I know a lot of new moms, that could be it, right? What are some challenges you may have this season, and how can you best respond to them? So here's where I don't pretend that stuff is not happening. I actually address it here and go, yeah, well, since I'm not sleeping, I'm probably gonna, not want to exercise. Like, I feel like my lack of sleep. I cannot write in script apparently yet in this pen. I am still learning. I'm just so used to pen and paper. So let me try that again, because I just can't even read that. I feel like in this season of my life, my lack of sleep may affect and I'm going to talk about exercise, right? The whole point here is that lack of sleep is going to affect my exercise. So what I'm basically trying to say here is I could have started this year off. I could have been straight into planning, but I would not have gotten real with myself about what's been happening and what might happen if I keep this going. Because I noticed my exercise has been lacking because of my lack of energy, lack of sleep because of the new baby or whatever, right? So then it's like asking you the question, how can you best respond to it? Like, I already know that's going to happen. What I'm going to do is, the way I'm going to counter that is I'm going to, oopsies, it's not. This is me using new pens too. I'm going to start with 5 to 10 minute interval training. And that will really help me because it doesn't make me give myself the excuse of like, oh, I'm too tired, so I can't do it, you know? But at the same time, it's not like, oh, you know, I'm not going to be giving up because I know I've already have a plan that's going to happen, but I'm going to do this interval training. And I might even like sneak in a couple, specifics about that. I like this video. I like this system that I found online and blah, blah, blah. So that's what this allows you to do. And as you keep going, I'll just do one or two more and I'll show you. You're gonna really, really here address exactly how you're gonna deal with that in a more specific way. So I love that it gets really, really specific here. And what you can do in general in this section is you can really start to think about like how you're gonna address your year and just be really real about what goals and stuff I want. Now, as you go on, this is where we're like, okay, but like, what are the goals that I want for myself for the year? So let's talk about what we did so far. We got really real about like what type of a year, what do we want to focus on in that year? We got real with like where I am right now. And now I'm at the part where I'm like, okay, so if that's the case, what goals do I want? What do I want to accomplish in this year? And there's this whole section on like what a SMART goal is and really specific Islamic examples of what a good goal would look like. I find that most people, they tend to make really general goals. Like, I want to read a lot of Quran this month or this year. Instead, this is really, really specific. Watch the difference. Like, I like this one in particular here. I want to have a solid routine of spending. This one is for like spending with children. Let's pretend you feel like you disconnected with your kids. I want to have a solid routine of spending 30 minutes of undivided attention, no phone, with my children each day by March 15th. After that, I intend to keep this habit by making it a continued daily occurrence. So I have this goal of just doing this consistently. And then after that, I want to try, so I'm just like testing the waters here. Or maybe it's something specific in Quran. Like I want to improve, let's do this one about Fajr. People struggle to wake up for Fajr. I want to be able to wake up 30 minutes before Fajr and pray Tahajjud consistently by February 1st. Like if I don't do it by then, I need to check in with myself again. And if I do it by then, after that, I intend to keep this habit by praying tahajjud on a daily basis. Now, if that is totally unrealistic for you, you could say 2 times a week, once a week, whatever it is. Just get it going. So this is what, so there's really specific Islamic examples and how to do it. Explains here. And anyway, and then it really, really breaks it down on how to write these goals in this section. And then you're going to dive like straight into all of that. All right, so I know goal planning is really crazy for some people, but what I suggest is if you want to do this alongside of me, you are more than welcome. What you could actually do is take the video, pause it, and watch it and do it alongside yourself, right, as you're doing it. Whether you do it in the same planner I'm doing it, I have a link below for the one that I'm using. There's a digital and a print version. Or you want to do it on just a notebook right next to me. I mean, I like things in, what I really started to love about doing digital is I would have tons of notebooks piled up everywhere. But then at the same time, I'm kind of a bit old school and I do like to touch paper. So if that's you or like either one, the point is that it's organized. How many times do you have single papers flying all over the place? That's disorganization itself. Because it's all in one place and it's neat and it's in order, it just makes it really easy to do. So in the next video, probably I'll go into how to create the goals and I'll do that in kind of like a part 2, but I want to show you right now kind of what happens with this. There's details on how to create your goal, and then there are next steps. You get to reward yourself, my favorite part. There's a tracker here where you can, again, there we go. And this one, yep, I did it that day, didn't do it that day. See that, and I track at 3-month intervals at a time, because I think it looks really, like I keep coming back to this goal after, this is like basically 1 quarter. If you're unfamiliar with like how really good professional planning goes, what's really cool about this is the same way you plan in business. It's the same way you plan in my private and my career life. I do the same. I literally track. And when you do that, you get to see patterns. Like I'll notice like every Monday I tend to not do something, or it's like oh my gosh, it's been 5 days since I drank water. I thought I was going to be drinking water. One of my goals is to drink at least 8 bottles of water, because I don't do it. Let's just pretend. I'm just making that up, even though I probably need to have that goal. You know, alhamdulillah, I drink too much coffee. That's probably my arch nemesis. I'm healthy in every way, and that one I probably could do better. And so alhamdulillah, I could start to see patterns like, whoa, I didn't realize there was like the span of so many days where I didn't do that thing. And then, hey, in this part of it, I was better. What made me better or more consistent here? Let's pretend I did that much. Ooh, as opposed to here. Where did I see a difference in overwhelm in myself? I might want to like take some note. I could flip back to those inside of my planner, and I could do that easily by just going in here and going to the page of when something happened, right? And I'm gonna go into that now before I close up, because I think we could do goal planning. This is me. You could set up to, I think, like 10 goals. You could just do 2 goals. I will say when I come in the next one, I'll tell you how to fill this out. But past the goal setting, we get into morning routines and how to set up the perfect morning routine, and brainstorming your morning routine. What I like about this is it's almost like drawing. You could draw it out. For those of you who are like super creative, you know, this is where you get to go to town. You can import pictures. You could do an inspo board on this. And that's what I've seen a lot of people do. You could do a total inspo board. So you could do like, I think this person did. They actually brought in pictures and stuff like that. And, you know, they were like, yeah, this is what I want to do. You could do an inspo board like this. Or whatever you want. That one happens to be in black and white. You could do it in color. Morning adhkar. I love that it has here all of the morning adhkar ready. So when I say in my daily stuff that I'm going to do morning adhkar, like it's already here. Then there's all these tips for me to have an amazing morning routine based on like things that actually work. I could brainstorm that, and I'm ready to go and just do my planning. So if you can see this whole part here, it was before the planner. This is where the planner is actually going to begin. You're going to have like a traditional planner, but this whole part here walked you through all this intentional stuff so that you could set yourself up. You didn't just dive into planning. Anyone can do that. Any planner can do that. But this sets you up with the Islamic focus and the focus of whatever your life is. And this goes if you are a mom, or if you're a mom, or if you're a career woman, or if you're a student. It doesn't really matter. It goes for any person in any part of their life. I got this thing here where I'm like selecting everything. I think I need to stop selecting, right? And so alhamdulillah, you could just dive into a regular planner and you could just plan your life away, but I doubt they're going to have all of this help on how to fill stuff in. And I doubt that it's going to be as intentional as this. And that's why I use this one. And it's so much different than another planner, because it's setting you up mindfully, Islamically. And usually if you find a mindfulness planner, it's just mindfulness. It's not Islam. And if you find an Islamic one, it's kind of like minimal stuff, and it usually will not incorporate all of the strategy that you see here, so that by the time you get to the regular monthly planning, you're ready to go. Now, if you want, you could skip all that and you could just dive straight into monthly planning, and that could be your thing too, but it's up to you. You know what I mean? It's really all about personalizing it and catering to whatever you want to do with it. Well, I hope you found that helpful. I'm definitely going to do a part 2 where I go even into the next part of the planner, like I said. And inshallah ta'ala, I feel like This is something you need somebody to hold your hand for, and I'm really excited we got to do this video together and plan together. What you can do is you can even rewatch the video and just literally have it open as you have your planning open, and you can plan together with me. If you're curious about the planner that I use, I will put the digital version. There's also a physical version below as well. And yeah, we're gonna do part 2, but let me know if you have any more questions, comments, or ideas that you think other sisters should know about planning and cool stuff that you're doing, and I'll talk to you in the next one.